Namaste and welcome to my class. Dear students, uh, I have already taken few classes to you and hope that they turned to be fruitful. And just yesterday, just in my previous lesson, I discussed about a topic writing condolence messages. And in today's class too, I have brought a similar topic that is related to the writing section of our curriculum. And it is clear here the topic of the lesson is, and the dear students, look at the pictures. These pictures are very much familiar. You are very much familiar to these types of pictures. These types of pictures are called newspapers. Okay, and the newspapers, they are the news. A news is an information that was none before, or the current events are broadcast over the radios, televisions, online, and printing medias, and these are the printing medias. Okay, and news reports are found in the newspapers. That is the prime concern today. We are talking about news reports, preparing how to prepare news reports. Okay, and newspapers and their purpose is to inform the readers of what is happening around the world, the current events, what is happening around you, what is going on in the world. That is the prime concern, and their prime concern is to inform the public. Okay, and now news reports have, while preparing these types of newspapers, while preparing or while writing news reports, they follow certain structures, right? And that is our prime concern today, the main concern, how to prepare the news report. Okay, let's move forward. Dear students, I have brought few pictures for you. Look at this picture. What does this picture say about? The picture, before writing news report, you have to determine what to write about. Figure out what to write about. Which is your interest, which you are interested in. Choose the field. Politics, current events, crimes, and sports, cinematography, anything else that can be your interest. First of all, pick out what you are interested in. Okay, and then after, the second thing is to visit the place. Go to the scene. Go to the place. Okay, then after, collect the information. First, determine your interest. Second, go to the place for data collection. And in the date, look, this is the third picture. And what it says about it is that when you visit the place, when you go to the place, right, you observe many things. Notice them now. And your observation may not be sufficient for the reporting. Therefore, ask people about what happened there. You should gather as much information as you can. So, held interview, ask people, and then after, the information you observed there may not be correct. So, this picture now talks about the research. You need to gather as many information as you can. Therefore, your writing will be in detail and it will be precise and it will provide many information to the other people as well. Therefore, your job after collection of the data, you need to involve in the research. What more other is found? Search for the other types of information that are related to your topic. And then finally, you have to report. You have to prepare the report. Start writing report. And now these are the steps of preparing a news report. But dear students, in the examination, you do not go to the spot. You don't have any choice of the topic, isn't that? And you cannot have time to research. You cannot conduct any interviews. But all this is already done. Your question setter has already done all these things. Your question setters provides you all these informations already, and depending on the clues you have to write or you have to prepare the news report. Okay, now while writing a news report, we have to consider many things. We must have knowledge of various aspects and structures of a newspaper. For our convenience, let us divide. Everyone, look at this slide now. This slide has divided a news report in various parts. The first part is headline, and the another part is byline. Then after, place, date, source, this, and the next is the lead, and finally there is given the body. If you break down a news, if you break down the news into these parts, it will make you easier for writing. For your convenience, these these topics are prepared, and they actually are found in the news report too. Okay, now let's go through the headline. Dear students, what we teachers experience, what do the students complain about their teachers is that, yes, I have done all my best. Yes, my report, I should have got full marks there. But we find so many problems in your topics too. So if I started discussing only about the topic, it takes 2 or 3 classes. It is quite lengthy, long. But for your convenience, I am going to talk about very few ideas that will be beneficial for your examinations. So, while writing topic, we should be very much careful, because that is the first impression to the examiner. Okay? And if possible, follow these guidelines. First, follow the active voice. If possible, write your topic in active voice. And strong present tense means better to write your topic in present tense. And second, your topic should be very attractive and catchy one. People should be lured by the topic. They should be interested. That should develop curiosity among the people, so that they will buy the paper and read the news. And the third is the headline to the left. It means that while preparing the news report, there are several columns, and the heading of your report should be to the left hand side. And single quote, what does that mean? Another point. Sometimes we can use the quotes. They come as the quotation marks in our heading too. And while using the quotes, if you are going to use the quotes inside, that is necessary part, please use the single quotes on the topic and double quotes in the paragraphs report. Okay? And next, there are various ways, various styles of writing headlines. LMA, APA, PA. I don't like to talk about all those things. The Chicago, the APA, MLA, and PA, these ways. But for your convenience, I am talking about very few styles here, because if I started taking talking on the topic, it takes too long time, because there are varieties of ways. Okay, varieties of conventions have been developed, followed, and here my aim is to support just how you can write. And while writing numbers in your newspaper headings, better write 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 9. You can give write in number. Then after, if it is 10, 20, 100,000, please do not write in number, write in words. And the next, this also talks about the headlines. That is the most important part. How to write the headline. Here, the first letter and the first letter of the proper noun, capital. First, this is the one way of writing. First letter and the first letter of proper noun only, not all the letters. Begin with the first letter, and if there is any word, common noun, then you write the first letter of the common noun, capital. And punctuation words and lower cases. Now remember, function words are classified into two groups. Right. That are the content words and the function words. While using function words, please write them in the lower cases. And another is punctuation. My suggestion to you is that do not use any punctuation in the topic or headline. That is better, because if you use punctuation, I am sure that you will certainly do mistakes there, because there are very difficult ways, different ways of punctuations, and that are very difficult to learn. You must be a journalist for that. Even I don't know all the ways of punctuation in the topic, because I am not the journalist that are very much professional, isn't that? Therefore, my suggestion to you is not to use any punctuations in the topic. And the first letter of the content word except the function word is acceptable. I just described two ways. One, first letter and the of the topic and the proper noun capitalized, and the second, all the first letters of every word except the function words capitalization. That is just for example. Okay, look at this example. Everything is shown clearly to you. Let me read it. Indian calls thousands of boats after flu outbreak. This is the headline. And notice all the first letters of the content words are capitalized in the uppercase. And this is the heading. And now come to the next line, that is by reporter. That is called the byline. And New Delhi, that is called the place line. And then after June 20, that is the deadline, and the source CNN, that is the source of the news mentioned over there. And after source, there are the colons used. And students, please do not forget to use the colons, because that have also meaning, because they say that the news given in detail below. Yes, and after this, now your job is to start the first paragraph. Dear students, look at this. The first paragraph, that is also called the lead in newspapers technically. And the news, write down 2 or 3 sentences, simple sentences. In the lead, just describe the heading. Just describe the heading of the news. Do not disclose all the information and make the paragraph lengthy. That is just the opening, and preserve many informations for the body parts. Okay, and if you like to write a very good lead, include the answer of these 5 WH questions: where, what, when, why, and how. Okay, that will be the fine lead. And you have to inform only the basic information. Okay, include only the basic information of the news in the lead, in the first paragraph of your report. And now let's move to the body part. This is the most important part of your report, news report. Okay, and here we give the detailed report is reported here. Yeah, everything is explained. We have to include as many informations as we can there. Okay, detail of the lead. Describe the first paragraph. You have inserted very specific information in the first paragraph in the lead, and now describe that paragraph in detail in the body part. And you have to include the facts and data and quotes. What people said. What is the fact about the news? Include the data, statistics, and full name, then the second name I have said. What does that mean? If possible, do not include any name in the headings. And while mentioning the person, while quoting somebody else, first of all, you have to write the full name of the person. And when the same name is repeated in the next paragraphs in the context, then after you can use only the second name, the family name only. And use short and simple sentences. It is not a literature. It is a different type of literature. Okay. It is a different type of literature. Therefore, do not use difficult words that who are the readers, the public, so that your report should should be as simple as you can, because all the public should understand it. They should be able to read and understand it. Therefore, use very simple sentences. And while writing news, you are only the observers, you are not the participants. Therefore, use third person narratives. Do not say I. What other people did, you are the observer. So, use third person narrative there. And regarding the tense, use generally you can use past tense, but my recommendation to you is different. If you are preparing a report, describe the past event in the present tense and describe the past event in present tense and the past perfect event in past tense. That will be very good for you. It is my recommendation. You can use different tenses, but my recommendation for you is that use present tense to describe past and use past tense to describe the past perfect. That is supposed to be good. And include what is going on. The next point says, and what is possible next. Both the information, because we have to give the news in detail, isn't that? For that purpose, what is going on now? Include this. And what is the possibility for the next? Include this information, the prediction. And now I left one point, that is the attributes, isn't that? So regarding attributes, what do I like to suggest you is that do not try to take all the credit to yourself. Sometimes it can be risky to as a reporter. Therefore, if you give your credit to the other person, what people said, what somebody says, what the public said, use this type of language so that you can be safer while reporting, because it is a risky job too. Therefore, if you give credit to others, at that time you can be safe, because you are not doing all this, because you are just the observer, you are just the listener. Therefore, you give credit to the others, what people said, what somebody says, like this. And finally, the layout. Dear students, a news report should look like a news report. It should not look like an essay. isn't that? Whenever you write a condolence, I find many students not giving emphasis to the layout. If you write a condolence message, formal condolence notice, and if it looks like a letter, that has no meaning. A condolence message should look like condolence message. Similar to that, a news report should look like a news report. Write in columns, box it. Hmm? At least, whenever the people see this, they think that it is the news. You might have seen the newspapers. So they are written in columns and try to follow the tradition too. And if possible, you need to include the photos, but from the examination point of view, it is not good to suggest you here, but in the real life context, better use the uh, photos too. And now, dear students, this is what we did. We break down a newspaper article in different sections: headline, the lead, and the body part. And these two slides, I have tried my best to show how they function there, which is the headline, which is the byline, which is timeline, source, date, and which is the lead, and which is the body part, and what informations are included in the body part. Every detail I have tried my best to describe through these two slides. And my request to you, I cannot take long time here describing each and every part because of the limited time, isn't that? Therefore, my request to you is to pause the video, look at the slides very carefully, every part, which is the body part, how they are designed, that is all shown here. And my request to you is that please pause the video and look at the slides in detail. And now, generally these I have included two breakdown of the sample breakdown of the newspapers, and this is also equally important. There are other details included in these slides. For this is for your example, and the news report has been broken down into several parts. For example, the methods post, that is the name of the newspaper, then after subheadings, headline, byline, timeline, opening paragraph, that is the lead, yeah, and short paragraphs and quotes, that is the body, and similar to that, finally given the summary of the report. Similar to that, this slide also talks about the same newspaper report. This is just for your information. Remember, how can we break down a news report in different headings? It shows that the name of the newspaper, headline, name of the reporter, opening, article, yeah, and subheadings. It has a very good operation. A good surgery has been made, isn't that? Therefore, look at this, how it is designed, and I hope that you also can write this type of news reports. And now, I think that this is going to be fruitful. Dear students, for your practice, I have brought uh, something else. Please do this at your home, and hope that this class also turned to be fruitful. I tried my best within this short time. Please try this and we will soon meet in our next class. Thank you.